Hey, it's Lynn Brown. Welcome to the Gritty Women Global Podcast. We're so glad that all of you decided to join us today, and we have a great show ahead. Today, our speaker, Taylor Wilcox, is going to bring to our attention just how she brings wellness to families. She's a registered dietitian, but she takes a non-diet approach. And I think that's so interesting because normally we think the opposite, but she has a really unique way of bringing information in a non-threatening way to families across the world. So today she's going to join us. We're going to jump right in. Taylor, we're super excited to have you today. So tell us, what are you most excited about?
Yeah, thank you for having me, Lynn. I'm really excited about being able to work with families and help them bring more wellness to their lives and just more consistency, because I know for me growing up, I was with my family. We were always on the go playing sports and we were never home. It was really tough to sit down as a family and eat dinner together. And we were pretty much all on our own trying to figure out what we were going to eat. And I know, again, for me growing up, I struggled with my relationship with food and had very disordered eating patterns, especially going into middle and high school, where I was very much aware of my body image. And I felt the need to control that. And I wanted it to look a certain way. And growing up, you hear all these messages about, take this pill or follow this diet. Or for me, I watched the Kardashians growing up, which they were always talking about, what to eat to look a certain way. So I was very heavily influenced by, social media, TV, peers to look a certain way. And in my head growing up, I thought that meant eating as little as possible. And I want to help families and their teens or kids learn from my mistakes to understand that eating as little as possible is not health, or looking a certain way and eating as little as possible to achieve that is not health. What health is nourishing your body from the inside out. It's important to have a good relationship with food where you don't feel the need to restrict and eat the littlest amount as possible, or to cut out entire food groups, or to take certain pills that aren't even regulated by the FDA and we don't even know is safe, again, to reach a certain weight. The important thing, like I said, is nourishing your body, eating whole foods, eating foods that you love and make you feel good, but also knowing that you can have pizza or ice cream or whatever that food is that you love that maybe nourishes your soul. Those can also be a part of our life in a healthy and moderate way. So that's what I want to help families, and again, mainly their teenagers, learn to know, because I know that that's where it tends to start and where they tend to struggle the most with their body image and relationship with food. So I'm excited to share more about that and reach more families and teens and students and help them learn how to nourish their body and have a healthy relationship with food.
Wow, that is so important. I think it's coming at such a critical time because we know the ramifications of social media, and I'm not bashing social media at all. I think so much good can come from that platform, but at the same time, I know even for adults as well as teenagers and younger, there's a comparison piece that comes into play there, and there's a view of what certain things are supposed to look like, and I think we get those things in our brain as young, even before we're teens. And as we grow up, they just become cemented because we know what we think about, we bring about, and we repeat those patterns in our brains and our minds, and then that creates the behavior. So it's like I see you as just this person coming in to kind of help them crack into those paradigms and help them to see that they can, like you said, they can enjoy food. It doesn't have to be a master over their lives.
Yeah, absolutely. I do agree with that part of the social media. It is a positive thing. There is good things, but there is a lot of negative too. And for young kids and teens who are so influential, they might be following a bodybuilder or a fitness influencer who they mean the best when they're posting their content, but they don't necessarily know what's right. And again, they're probably struggling in their relationship with food too, those influencers. And so those, again, kids, teens, whoever's watching that, it can be adults as well, are being influenced by these people that, again, they mean well, but they don't know what they're talking about, and they might even be promoting really unhealthy behaviors. So I always try to say this as well. If you are getting any type of nutrition information off social media, make sure you're following a registered dietitian. Everyone means well when they're posting, but just because you can eat and just because you maybe ate a certain way and it changed your body doesn't mean you're presenting the most accurate and safe information. So always get your nutrition information from a registered dietitian. And I don't mean that to, toot my own horn, but we go to school for years to learn this, and we want to help you be the healthiest version of yourself, but we want you to be safe while you're doing it. So that's my tip there. If you're on social media, get your nutrition information from a dietitian if you can.
That's great. Now let me ask you this: in your personal journey, was there a turning point? Was there something that caused that shift in your mindset to want to look at a different way? Like what was that turning point for you?
Yeah, absolutely. It didn't really happen for me until I graduated college and had my degree in nutrition and dietetics. I was going through the internship that's required before you can even sit and take your exam. And for me, I was going through that internship where I felt the need to eat super healthy the entire day. So it was, fruit, oatmeal for breakfast, a salad for lunch, dinner, chicken, rice, veggies. And then at night, I would binge on whatever was in my pantry, all the snacks, and they would be gone within a day or two. And I couldn't wrap my head around how I could help people when I was doing this every single day. Basically, it was a cycle that I was stuck in. And it was really just me scrolling on social media. So there is positives, again, that came from this, where I was following another dietitian who was talking about what does disordered eating look like? And I was going through that. And how can you create this healthier relationship with food? So really, it was just the turning point of seeing this post from this dietitian, started following her, started learning more about intuitive eating and what a healthy relationship with food looks like. And I needed to do it for myself because I knew I wanted to help others get out of where I was at that point. So that was definitely the turning point for me.
Wow, that's awesome. And I guess my philosophy is it doesn't matter when the turning point was, it just matters that there was one, and thank goodness you saw that person, and that you reached out and you got some information, and that began to change your life, and could eventually have saved your life. So tell us, what would you recommend for a parent, or even for a teenager that maybe sees one of your posts on social media or something? What would you recommend for them for their first step? How can they work with you?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're a parent that sees my post, I would say for you as a parent, if you can work on creating your own healthier relationship with food and body image, because as kids, we learn everything from those around us, and parents are the most influential because we're with them all the time. And so if you're a parent who maybe talks negatively about their body in front of your kid, you have every right to feel that way about your body, but maybe work on not saying that out loud in front of your children, because they hear that and they internalize that message, and they will likely be thinking of that about their body or worried about what they're looking like. So if you're a parent, take that first step of doing it for yourself. And you might even notice as you start to do that as a parent, those thoughts start to lessen for yourself, and that can improve your own mental health as a parent. As a kid, again, just knowing that you do need to eat in order to be healthy and thrive. So if you see my post, just knowing that if you're someone who is struggling and feels like you don't deserve to eat or don't deserve to eat a lot, know that you do deserve to eat. Every body needs energy, and that's where we get it from, is food. And if they need extra support, they can definitely click the link in my bio. And I have tons of free resources. I have tons of resources to work with me as well. So if they need extra support, they can start with some of the free resources and learn more that way. And then they can reach out and book a free call with me, and we can talk more and decide if they need that extra support to get the one-on-one help.
Wow. Well, that's great. Those are wonderful resources. And I know that you are, working with different organizations, not just, locally, but internationally, anybody that wants to improve a result, in this area. So sports teams, after school programs, schools, any type of organization, gyms, I could think of a million different ways, for your work to impact these types of, institutions. But I just think it's great that you're putting your work out into the world, and that you're so excited about it. And like, we know there's such a need for it, just such a need for it right now. I think, young people just need direction. They need relationships, friendships, good, positive role models, and they need, accurate information now more than ever. So that's what, Taylor's bringing to the table. No pun intended with the table, but, that's what she's bringing, to just bring awareness to this area that is so important. And so, Taylor, I always like to ask this question, as far as gritty goes. This is the Gritty Women Global Podcast, and the G stands for a grateful heart. The R is for resilient. The I is for, being an inspiration. The two T's in gritty are to think tough, and Y is you do you. Which part of gritty resonates with you the most?
I could probably pick all of those and resonate, but I will say resilience maybe stuck out to me a little bit more, because it does take a lot of trial and error to not only improve your relationship with food when you've been in that negative spot with it for so long, but to also go out there and share this message with other people. Have had a lot of resiliency with that, because it's not easy. And for me, I know I'm never going to give up, and I want to get this message out there. So I think resiliency is definitely resonating with me, because I won't give up, and I will take whatever steps I need. I will fail a million times until I figure it out. So that definitely resonated with me.
Well, that's cool. And that's what I was thinking, was resilience. So that was funny that you said that. But yeah, it's just because of what you overcame, and what you're doing. I mean, you turned something that was, you could have experienced it as a negative thing, but you turned it into a positive, and you took the bad and you made it into good. And so, I think our learns teach us so much more than our wins. And so that is great. And we just appreciate you today giving us your time and sharing your message with us. And will you tell us again, if your website, how can people visit your website?
They can find me at www.lifelongwellnessgoals.com. Or if they're on Instagram, I am at mindful_dietitian_Taylor. And they can also find my website there in the bio.
Awesome. Well, that is great. Thank you so much for that contact information. And we'll definitely be, spreading the word about your work in the world. And so if anybody listening, if you're associated with a school or any type of organization that serves, kids and families, please reach out, to Taylor, and to just let her know, because somebody she needs to know. And so we just need to help her get this message out into the world. So again, Taylor, thank you so much for your time today. Thanks for being a guest on the Gritty Women Global Podcast. And I just can't wait to hear about all the families and students and young people that you impact from this point forward.
Thank you for having me, Lynn. I do appreciate you allowing me to share, and I can't wait either. Thank you.
All right. We have a great gritty day. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks. You too. Bye.